Hi everyone, starting a little late because I look puzzled. Let's see. No, I was just trying to, when I signed in, it made me sign out of all the pages I wanted to show you guys. So I was getting them back up. So yes, I was puzzled. Kind of annoyed, puzzled. It happens if you can hear me. All right, let me put my costume on here. This is how I do it. Just makes it so when I turn away from the camera, you can hear me. There we go. So hopefully you can hear me okay. Let's see. There we go. Yep, you can hear me. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's doing good today. Yay, upgrades are fun. I'm glad to hear that because they're, they take a little minute. Hey, Paige. Hey, Paige. They've been taking a minute to get in, but just be patient. Like anything in life, we got to be patient. Like when you're having kids, like someone I know. Um, I don't have kids, but you had to wait 9 months for it to come, right? There we go. Hopefully you don't have to wait that long for your upgrade though. It's not showing me what I normally like to see. Let's see here. Maybe if I go here, no, okay, let me X out. Whatever. All right, hello everyone. How's everyone doing today? Let me put my questions down. I didn't make as much room as I should have. So I've got my mouse here. Let me see if I put this back. Oh, that's good. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It's that time again. It's Facebook Live Sunday. And if you're new to the group, welcome. We are here to have fun, learn from each other, and grow in our sewing experience. It's really fun. I am a National Baby Lock educator, so I get to come on and show you all the cool things that baby lock machines can do. But if you don't have that brand of machine, it's okay. If you have Brother, it's very similar. If you have a different brand, just hang out. You might learn something. You might see something that you're like, I can apply that to my machine. So I love each and every one of you, and thank you all for hanging on for these past couple years. Let's see, what are we going to do today? Oh, well, first I did finally, not finally, actually finished something. I finished my boo, but I was going to do a pillow, and then I'm like, I don't have a pillow form that size, so I just turned it into another wall quilt. Ah, that's so cute. That came out really good. I'm super excited about this. I think it came out darling. I love that font. And I love that feature on the machine. And if you didn't see us do this last week, you can always find the, yay, I finished my boo. You can always go back, scroll through, or you can go to the, I think, photos and videos and look through there. I haven't made an updated list in quite a while. So maybe I'll get to that eventually. But again, boo. Boo, I scared you. Boo. There it is. I love it. So I don't know where I'm going to put this. It's almost over. Halloween's almost here, but it's darling and it's a great sample for me. So I'll just stick it up there. I'm going to put my little awesome, usually what I do, let me see, did I put one on here? I did. Usually what I do in case I ever travel is I put these on the back. So handmade by Anna. And they're little wooden labels that designs by Hope Yoder. You can go to her website and have some made for you. They are awesome. They're on the back of everything here, just in case, I have to take everything down and go somewhere and show samples. That way, they're mine. So I have to put my little wooden, I need to get some more because I'm running out. So hopeyoder.com. Get some labels. All right. So that was a shameless plug. Here we go. Thanks, Denise. Thanks, everybody. I'm just double checking everything here like I do. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, today is a little bit different because we're not going to be playing in IQ Designer or uh, anything like that. We're actually playing with pre-bought designs. And so there are so many in the Hoop Quilt block designs out there that I thought I would just show you guys a couple tips and tricks on how to do those, how to prepare them, how to prepare your machine, what needles, all that to use. And this was one, and I think I've told y'all I've gotten really into the ME, I think it's machine embroidery, perfectly pieced. I love these. I can make them super quick, and they're a lot of fun to make. So this was the one I showed y'all last time. And these were all made in the Hoop, these houses. And of course, that quilting is one of the new quilting designs in the Solaris Vision. So I went ahead and just used that on that. Now it does come with their own quilting designs, but I was like, hey, I want to play with mine. But the October one, let's just lay that. The October one, which I have not finished, I just stayed up late finishing all the blocks for the little blocks, are really beautiful. The fabrics are absolutely stunning, and this is what this month's is. So they give you enough to make basically one of these. You have a tiny bit left over, not a whole lot, but it's the one I want to do in here. Oh yeah, here it is. So this is the one I'm going to end up making. And the reason why I like that one so much, here in Florida, and especially in the capital, we have a huge respect for the Seminole Indian. And so that reminded me of one of the beautiful designs that the Seminoles will make on their dresses and their vests and their clothing. And so I was like, well, that's really cool. I want to kind of go along with that one. But here's one of the blocks. The fabric is so sweet. There's only 2 blocks. So basically it's these 2 right here. Isn't that beautiful? The fabrics are just so pretty. They're much prettier in person. And then what I'll do is I'll take and I'll stitch them together, and I will create that design right there. And so it reminds me of the beautiful designs that the Seminole Indians make with their clothing and all that. One day I would love to go on there and meet with them and see my idea is to meet with them and get their blessing to maybe document and make some of their designs as well, because they're absolutely gorgeous and stunning. So yes, this is Camberwell, but it's under the perfectly pieced, and I'm going to show you that. So I've got all my blocks made. But what I also wanted to show you guys, especially if you have the upper end Baby Lock or Brother machines, is you have large enough hoops that you can put up to 6 of these 4-inch blocks in there. But also we can color sort them. And what that means basically is that you can have it stitch out all the same things at the same time. So I can have it stitch out the first part of each block, all 6, then go to the next one. That way I'm not making one block at a time. I'm actually working on all 6 blocks. Now, this was my last one that I only had 4 more left, but you can see that I left it like this for you guys so y'all can see that I hooped my largest hoop. And with this hoop, you can do up to 6. Now on the Meridian and Altair, you can probably do up to 4, but it saves you so much time. So I have to give someone in our group props for that. And her name's Jory, because I saw her do this a long time ago. And I was like, she's genius. So Jory, thanks for, I don't remember what it was. It was a long time ago. You did something very similar to that. And I was like, what? I was like, I'm not going to sit here and rehoop and rehoop and rehoop. So it made it so much quicker. So I got all those done. When did I start these? Probably the game came on at 7:30. So right around then, and I ended at 11. That's but I had already pre-cut the fabrics, so it really did not take me long. Now I've just got to sew them together. And how you sew them together is you want to be mindful about these. There's always going to be an outer stitch line, so an outer box or shape. And you always, unless the instructions specifically say to cut on that line, you always want to cut at least a 1/4 inch away from the last stitch line. It's going to help you, because what you're going to do is, see this line right here? You're going to match up this line right here, match them up, and that is going to be your stitch line. You're going to stitch directly on that outer line. So unless the instructions say specifically to cut exactly on that outer stitch line, don't do it. Leave about a 1/4 inch beyond it and trim there. So that's a great tip that I'm sure I learned along the way, because I probably cut on the line. When I was first doing in the hoop projects, I didn't understand any of it, and I messed up a lot. So I'm gonna turn on my fan. 1 second. Jason was a little cold today, so I'm be right back. I'm so hot-natured, so I can't. I'm like always hot. Okay, so what block am I going to show you today? I'm not going to show you these because these are proprietary. You have to order them to play with them, and it's not my role to show you how to make these. They have great videos and directions. I mean, the directions are stunning. They come with everything. And let me tell you something. Let me say something here for you guys. They have no idea I'm doing this, so I'm not getting paid to talk about this. I just really found it fun, and it was they're great de-stressing projects. And I think I pay around $60 a month for this. That's so cheap. So I'm like, yeah, so I've decided that I have a de-stress project, and that's going to be the Perfectly piece. And I'll show you those here in a minute. But those of you who got the upgrade for the Solaris, the Solaris 3 upgrade, or the new Solaris Vision, you got visionary stitches, right? And so in here, Mike Johns made a collection of in the hoop blocks. Here we go. So I was like, ooh, I can make a whole quilt out of those, because they come in 5-inch and 8-inch. And I'm like, 8-inch, perfect. Now you can only hoop once, but they go so fast. The one that I chose, it goes so fast. It says it's 7 minutes to stitch out. Really, we add more time in that for everything else. So about 10 minutes each block. It's so quick. It does not have its own quilting, which is fine with me because I like to quilt my own things. But let me show you what I started working on at 3 o'clock. No, 2:30 today. And I've already gotten a bunch of these done. So this is one of the blocks. I had a layer. I was like, what fabric should I use? And I had a layer cake. The 8-inch blocks are perfect for layer cakes. Okay. They're so cute. Here's one. How many did I get done in an hour and a half? Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's probably my favorite. 5. But wait, there's more. The other ones I haven't cut. 6. Haven't cut those. 7. So I got 7 done in like an hour and a half. So I really, really did really good for myself. And they're so quick. And I'm going to show you how to do this one. Again, you do have to have the visionary stitches. However, Melody, that's a good question. I registered my upgrade through yesterday. How long does it take Baby Lock to send the email link? I don't know. Since I'm not there, I really don't know a lot of that. But what I would do is get in contact with Baby Lock. You can go on their website and find their contact information. If you send them an email, like through their little contact thing, they get right back to you. This is a company that actually gets back to you and will help you. So Sorry that I don't know that answer. It's just, I don't work in a shop anymore and I just don't know. I apologize. Yeah, this fabric line, I can't remember what it is, but I feel like I didn't buy it too long ago. Let me grab the rest of it. It's so pretty, and I wish I could remember who it was. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just using a layer cake. And I was like, well, how many blocks do you want to make, Anna? And I'm like, I'll just go until I run out of fabric. So here's some of them. I've got them all mixed up. And it's just so pretty. It's these big, beautiful flowers, and these colors are just gorge. So I would say if you have any layer cakes lying around, if you can find something like this, or you have visionary stitches, this is going to be perfect for that. What else? Yes, the fabric's so pretty. I wish I can remember what it is. I usually keep the little thingy, but I didn't this time. So I made a ton of blocks in a short amount of time. This one takes no time, and that's the one I'm going to work on with you guys. So let's see. So yes, what else did I have? I thought I had something else. I guess that's what I wanted to show you. My boo, those blocks. And okay, well, for this particular, oh, let me show you how to look up. I was going to show you some in the hoop stuff here. So let's go to the interwebs here. Now there are a ton of them. If you go to Google and just type in the hoop quilt blocks, you'll be able to find them out there. And these are some of the places I found them. Sweet Pea, which have the cutest designs. I mean, they're so darling. They have tons of in the hoop quilt project. What is that one? I didn't even see this one. Wait, where'd it go? There we go. Let's see if we can get that one to pull up. It's not pulling up. I don't know, maybe I'm in the wrong thing, but that mandala is stunning. And they come in all shapes and sizes. Look at the little castle right there. Christmas, and y'all have seen these. But a lot of times what I like to look for, rather than just ones that have embroidery designs, are the actual blocks themselves. So it's like something like this one right here. Because I don't need all the other embroidery stuff. I just want to be able to do the blocks. And we can think about in the hoop quilt blocks like almost like paper piecing, but we're basically kind of paper piecing. Now it's kind of paper piecing in the hoop. Now, what other ones did I find? Well, I went to Embroidery Online and look at this guy. That is gorgeous. I love that. And I love that it's all different blocks. So this is, can we do these on the Altair? Girl, you can do this on a 4x4 machine. As long as the design is big enough for your hoop, you can do any of this. You just purchase the designs, put them on a USB stick, send or bring them over. Or if you have a wireless machine or capabilities for your machine, then you can use the design database transfer and send it over. So yes, you can put anything on that, definitely the Altair. So here's some, and I think there were some, let me go back a page. But just so y'all can kind of see what's out there. The Bella Patchwork sample, this is really cute. I like that. So there's going to be a ton of work in that one, which would be a lot of fun. And I love how they use the 30s fabric in that, because I love that fabric. Here's just a block itself, the split quarter triangle right here. So you can just order one block and make your whole quilt out of that. Here's some quilting designs. There's some more blocks, so you can order just the blocks. Now, the square in a square is the one that I'm doing right now, okay? So if you want, you could go ahead and order that and follow along, you know, later when you're rewatching the replay or whatever. Flying geese. Who in here cannot make a flying geese to save their life? Me, I'm always messed up on those. So I either, with flying geese, what I like to do is either do them paper pieced or in the hoop. And here is a flying geese in the hoop. That means it's always going to be perfect. So there's all kind of blocks out there that you can order. There's the large square and square. So that's very similar to the one that I'm going to be showing you guys today. Let me see here. Oma's Place. What's Oma's Place? Well, let's look it up. Let's type it in. What is Oma's Place? I don't even know. Here we go. One place I've never heard of. Oh, look at there. Well, does it have a search? It has a search here, and I'll type in quilt block. And let's see what Oma has. Ooh, pretty. I like the butterfly. So there's definitely some fun things to play with in here. So yeah, you know, there's so many great designs out there that you guys can look at. But let's go to Me Time. So I have it up and ready right here. So Me Time is, I guess, a business under Kimberbell. And this is where I found the perfectly pieced boxes. You can still get the ones that were a few months ago. So they have the July box, and then they have, and you can even get more fabric. So this was the bundle this time. I could even order more of the fabric if I wanted to. Let me scroll down a little bit here. Here are the designs. You can get just the designs, or you can get the whole box. So this was last month's. So let's click on that and I'll show you the picture. And look how cute. So, so this is the one that I did. And you can see you could make it a bunch of different ways if you wanted to. And, you know, ooh, what happened here? What happened? Oops. Let me get this back over here. There we go. Well, whatever. Let's close that one out. There we go. So this is what came with it last time. It had the fabrics. It always sends you thread, the directions. I got a cute little measuring tape. And then this time, and again, I'm not affiliated with them, I promise. I just thought it was really, really an adorable, that's July. Where is this month? I just think it's a great way to use your machine and do something a little bit different. Where is this month? Let me see if I can find it real quick. It was up here. Well, there we go. Maybe they're out of it. I don't know. But because the fabric was so pretty, but you can see that there's so much to do and so much to play with the Me Time. And again, there's so many out there. So just check it out. Have fun with it. Don't be afraid of it. It's, you know, it's in the hoop stuff is one of my favorite things to do, but they're already pre-made for you. So it's really easy. They all come with instructions. I'm just here to give you a couple tips and tricks about it. Like the finishing sewing, like what your machine needs to be set up to do. I'm just here to guide you. So with that being said, let's walk through a block together. And usually for the blocks, what you'll need is the fabric. Some of them won't tell you the sizes. That's the only thing. So you kind of have to play around with the first block. Now, what I would do if I were you and they did not tell you how much to cut, what I would do is do a practice block with some fabric that you just don't really care about, or maybe some scraps or something like that. That way it'll give you a good idea. With me, I just go for things. And for this particular block, the square and the square, the 8-inch, this is what I'm using. I have a piece of 10 by 10 batting. I have my 10 by 10 block. And then I have 4 triangles for the edges. How did I do that? I literally took, let's grab one of these, one of my 10 by 10s, and I folded just like this. So I know you didn't see me do that. So I folded in half diagonally, folded a half again. I cut this part off, I cut that part off, and I have 4 triangles. Super easy. I can even do it with a pair of scissors. I did this one nicely with rotary cutter just so it looked pretty for camera. But that's all you need. And the best stabilizer for these, I think, since they are going to be in a quilt, is the no-show mesh, because it's lightweight and it's not going to add a huge amount of weight to your quilt. So if you're using a tearaway, you're not going to have any fun with this because you're going to end up tearing out all that tearaway and it's going to take forever. So invest in some no-show mesh totally for this. Now, a lot of times they'll tell you what to use, but if it says tearaway, I would run away. I would say get your no-show mesh out. I do that a lot to in the hoop projects. If it tells me to use tearaway, I will just replace it with with no-show mesh because I get a more pliable surface rather than a crunchy, hard to feel surface, if that makes sense. Now, if it has thick embroidery on it, you can always take a piece of tearaway, float it under the hoop to give it some more stabilization. That's no big deal. But these are just quick blocks, so you don't need all that. All right, let's see. I just get the design and use my own fabric. Perfect. Yep, just get the design and you can buy the designs by themselves and use your own fabric. I'm a glutton for punishment. I like pretty fabrics, so I like to get new stuff, so I have to order the whole box. Because you get cute things with it too, and you know, why not? All right, so let's switch over and let's do this first block together, and let's talk about some things that will make it a little bit easier for you. Now, I think I did. Okay. All right, so here's my screen. I'm not going to do anything special for this particular block. I just brought it into my machine, got over to my embroidery side, and I'm just going to go from there. And what it's going to do, let's look at the step outs. And actually what I'm going to do is return. And we're going to look at the step outs this way. And where I want you to look is right up here. Okay? Because the first stitch that you're going to have is a placement stitch. This stitch is going to stitch directly onto your stabilizer, and then you're going to lay your piece of batting down. The next stitch is the same square. So what that's going to do is attach the stabilizer to your, attach your batting to your stabilizer. The next design is going to be this diamond. That is going to be a placement line. So it's just going to stitch out a diamond directly on top of your batting. The next one will be another diamond. That's going to attach your fabric. You're going to lay your fabric down before this stitch and it's going to attach it. After it's attached, we're going to trim the fabric away from the 4 sides. The next one is going to be a little line up here. And that kind of corresponds with this line right here. That is going to be the placement line for our triangle. And it's going to keep going like this. You have your placement line, then you have your tack down line. We take and we fold up the fabric to get it out of the way. And then it has this half a square, which is going to be right in here. And that's going to tack down that fabric right there. And then it will continue for all 4 sides. The last stitch will be an outer box. So it's really kind of simple. But if you've never done this before, it can be a little confusing. So that's why I'm. All right, so here we go. Wonder, should I turn it this way? Let me try something here. I want to make sure. Oh, where's my mouse? Give me just a split second. Upside down, right side up, upside down. Perfect. Okay. There we go. Let's get a better view of that. There we go. Okay. So now what we see, and I'm not using the new camera because that drove me crazy with the automatic zooming in and out. So still debating whether I should send that back or not. Okay. So what's going to happen, and which I've already done, is I've hooped my stabilizer, and the very first stitch that stitches is going to stitch directly onto your stabilizer. I am then going to take my piece of batting, and I ended up cutting it 10 inches just so I have enough. Don't cut your batting to the exact size. You want it, always want it bigger, and your fabric too. So we're going to lay that down. I'm not using any spray or anything. It's up to you. Oh, but I forgot to tell you how to prepare your machine, didn't I? I did. So let's go back to the screen real quick. We'll come back here. The very first thing I want you to do before starting one of these, before we do anything, any stitching, is depending, it doesn't matter what brand you're on. If you can do this, I want you to do this. You want to go to your settings, wherever your settings may be. And what you're going to look for is the embroidery foot height. Now, normally it's for baby locks, we have a black box around it, and that is our default. That is too low, especially when we're doing something that has loft to it. Remember, we're going to be using batting and fabric, and we're going to be going over folds. So it's safest to click here and raise your embroidery foot up just a little bit. Now, I had it at 8.080 inches. That actually worked great for me. It just went up a little bit, but you might want to test it. And how you test it is to come over here and place your foot down. And it's going to show where it's hovering. And there is enough room under there. I can see, I know you can't really see very well, but I can see there's enough room under there. You don't want it hugging your fabric. Generally in embroidery, you really don't want it hugging your fabric, hardly ever. So just kind of make your own decision of where you want it to hover, but we don't want it touching the material. We want it up a little bit. That is going to save you from the foot getting caught under fabric or anything like that. Okay, so now back to our design. Here we go. So I have placed my fabric over my placement line, or excuse me, my batting over my placement line right here. And I'm just going to let it stitch that down. Now, depending on the designer, this may be 2 go-arounds, it may just be 1 go-around. If you are someone who gets a little nervous with your machine and your fabric, you can tape it down. You can use a little bit of spray on the back. Don't use a lot. I use 505 if I'm going to use it because it's the consistency of a Post-it note, and it's not very sticky at all. It feels sticky, but it doesn't stick to your needle. So you want to be careful, and especially don't spray anywhere near your machine or on your hoop. So I would spray the back of this first. Okay, there we go. Now it has attached my batting to my stabilizer. And now what it's going to do, oops, that's my fault. I'll zoom forward. There we go. Okay, now what it's going to do is the diamond shape, and that's going to be a placement line. All right, perfect. So now what I'm going to do after that is ready for me, my thread's getting a little shreddy here. I think it may be time for my little girl to go in, or I need a new needle because it's been shredding my thread. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do on camera, if y'all don't mind, is go ahead and replace my needle because I'm getting a little bit of thread shredding. So oh, and I'm using a 75 needle. You don't really need to use
a 90 unless you know that you're going to have so many pieces in there that eventually your seams are going to get thick. For this one, I know it's going to, let me lock my machine. I know that I don't need to use a 90 needle. I need to use a 75, which is fine. I'm not going to be doing a lot of quilting on this. So I'm going to go ahead and replace my needle. And I use Class A. I just like them. They're really nice and I love the packages. They're really easy to keep up with. Flap to the back. All the way up. Make sure it's all the way up. Finger tighten. And then give it just another little turn. And she's in there perfectly. Let me turn my lock off. All right. So now what I want to do, I'm going to raise that foot, is I want to take my 10-inch square of fabric. And a lot of you are going to be like, you're wasting so much fabric. Nay, nay, I will not be wasting a lot of fabric because I will be able to use the triangles on the end for another piece. I love it. I just kind of came up with that. I was like, oh my gosh. So these right here are all from the other blocks, the little triangles that we're going to cut off. So I can use them on other blocks. I am not wasting, well, you waste a tiny bit only because, you know, you got to trim it up, but you're not wasting your whole layer cake. I love this block for that. So Mike, thanks for making it. And so what we could have done, guys, when these are still in the hoop, we actually could take it over to IQ Designer and add quilting into the center of the blocks, right? We could do that. But I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. So I'm going to take them out and get them trimmed up, sew everything together, and then decide on how I'm going to quilt it. I might do an all over quilting. I may just come back, scan it in, and put different quilting in the blocks and different quilting up here and here. But I haven't decided yet. So since I just started on this today, I was like, I'm going to wait. If that's a better angle, a little bit better. I know I don't have the best angles, but you know. All right. So let me show you a trick on cutting this out. I'm not just going to go and slice these off. Okay. Let me see if I can pull this out a little bit so I have the whole thing on camera. What I'm going to do, and the reason why I'm going to do it the way I'm going to do it is because it saves some of the angles here. So we're going to cut one big cut all the way around. I'm not going to cut slice off here, slice off here, slice off here. And that's just because in doing these today, I learned what would work best. So I'm cutting pretty close to the line. And I know, yes, I know my scissors are backwards. Don't get me. I'm just trying to keep everything on camera. And I always end up cutting this way. So I'm going to go here, but I'm not going to go straight across. I'm just going to take this off. That's terrible. And just go cut from here. I'll start from this side now so I can get my scissors where they're supposed to be and cut a lot easier. Stop there. And the reason why I'm doing it this way and not cutting just straight off is because it saves a little bit more fabric when we're going to reuse these for our corners. Stop there. Oops. And it doesn't matter if you leave a little bit, all that's going to get covered up. Don't stress about it. And these scissors are Quilter Select. All right. So when I go to cut these, I'm going to cut at an angle. like that. And let's see. Now, some of them they're all going to have a flat end and a pointy end. It may not make sense to you now, but later it really does help. So not to have so much cut off from them. So if we see, oops, that one I cut wrong actually. So if we see we have two short ends, I'll have to fudge that one. But this long end helps me with more length when I'm going to lay these down. All right, put them off to the side. Now, the ones that I cut, these blue ones here, how sweet are those? We're going to start attaching. So the first line that it's going to put down is a placement line. Okay, so I'm going to hit start. I'm not going to lay my square or my triangle down yet. It's a placement line, and you're going to go, oh my God, it's way above, something's wrong. No, it's perfect, because you're going to take the edge of your fabric and place it up to that line. So I've got my first triangle here. Oh, you can't see that, can you? It's because I'm moved to the way. Okay. There we go. Let's zoom in a little bit. Get you. All right. So see this line right here? I'm going to take the edge of my triangle and place it right up to it. And what Mike has done is set the attaching stitch a little further back. So it's going to attach it to this square. I would, Cindy says, I would rather waste a little fabric and have perfect stitching. Yes, ma'am. I agree with you. But I'm the queen of waste. So I don't get stressed out about wasting, stabilizer or anything like that. But I know a lot of people do, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But with this one, you're going to have a tiny bit of waste, not a whole lot. Okay, so we take and we push that back and fold it back just like I did with my fingers. Now, if you want it nice and flat, you can take this off, take it over to your ironing station and press it if you want. But also you can just take your fingernail, run it across it, and it lays it nice and flat. So I'm going to select start again, and it's going to put another tack down stitch around the outside. Perfect. Now, what you need to know is everybody designs theirs differently. So if you get a square and a square from somewhere else, the directions may not be the same. So it's just you need to take a look at it, and that's why I say do a practice one first. Okay, so I'm going to hit start because it's going to make my next placement line for my next triangle. And you'll see how fast this is. I mean, we're almost done with this block. Go in a little bit. So I'll take it off so you can see it better here. Okay, so there is my placement line. I'm going to take and place my triangle right up there and hit start. Right. So now we're going to do the exact same thing. And we're going to take and push this guy up. And I just take my fingernail along it. I'm sure there's other things you can do, but it'll give it a nice little flat crease. And now I want to go ahead and stitch that part down. Now the next stitch is going to stitch right here. So let's hit start. And same thing. We're going to take our next triangle and we're going to align it on that line. So I'll bring this out so we can see it a little bit better. There's my line. And I kind of center it over that line. And the line is basically touching the edge of my fabric. Or my fabric is touching the line. Okay, so we're going to flip that one back over. And I'm just going to do my fingernail pressing. And let it tack down that side. I like how this one is done because each corner is stitched down right after it's folded. That keeps it from not bouncing. So I actually really like the way Mike designed this one. I think it's pretty genius. So first I was like, oh, that's interesting. And now I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Okay, so our last placement line. Which means we will place, oops. Oh, got a little bit of trouble there, but that's okay. That part's going to be out of it anyway, so I'm not worried. So let's place that down. There we go. All right, so we're going to lay this on top, matching up the edge of the fabric with the stitch line, and we're going to hit start. Okay, now let's fold it back. And we'll get that last corner tack down. And voila, she's done. So let's do this. Switch it back to me so we can see what we got. How quick was that? This is really cute. I like these two together. So again, what I'll do is I will take it over to my cutting area and I will line up my 1/4 inch mark on the stitch line and trim a 1/4 inch away. So it'll look like this. This one you can probably see really well. So it'll look like this. You can see my stitch line. You can see my 1/4 inch out here. And thank you, Ginger. So again, how to put these together when I go to arrange them and put them together, what you can do, because you have these 2 points right here, you can always take a pin, place them right sides together, put a pin right at that corner, then place this one right at its corner. That aligns them perfectly. So basically I have pin here, and I can just pin down there, right here, just to hold it. And then I would put a pin in the center and then basically fold that pin in, fold the other pin in, and where you're going to stitch is on that outer stitch line. Not this one, not this dark one right here, but the outer stitch line right here. So that way, when I open it up, they'll all be perfectly placed together. And another thing that I'm toying with the idea of doing, which I did not do on the little house one, is going in. Let me take these apart. Where's the pin? Is going in on the back and removing the batting and the stabilizer, leaving just the 1/4 inch here. And that way it will leave out some bulk. So I'm going to play with that idea and see if that works. It's really fun. And yeah, let's see. Okay, let me double check. Make sure. Ooh, Becky, look better. So, okay. So, and that's part of what I wanted to show you guys today, how easy and fun they can be. You can really, find some really great ones out there. Again, let me see where to put Visionary Stitches right here. Again, if you have Visionary Stitches, it's on page 72. If I remember correctly, yeah. And he has a few different ones. So I did the square and the square. We have the half square triangle. We have some diagonal stripes, regular stripes. And then we have this little guy right here, which is a half square triangle with half square triangles. So you can have a lot of fun. I mean, look at the little coasters he made. How cute are those? I love that fabric. So you can really, let's place that somewhere safe. Really have a lot of fun with that. Now, the Georgia trimmer. I don't know what the George trimmer is. So please explain. Could you just trim your batting first? Of course you could. But you're gonna go back and trim the yeah, you could totally do that, but you're still gonna have to go back and trim the stabilizer. So yeah, it's totally up to you. I say try different things because let's see what works best, because that may work better. Okay, so what I wanted to show you guys, especially for you baby lock owners, and I can't say which machines this functions on, but I'm going to assume it starts, and it may start lower than the Destiny, the Altair Meridian, and the Solaris versions, and the Brother-like machines. Or if you have embroidery software. If you have embroidery software, you can do what I'm going to do. So I am going to show you how to color sort for multiple and a hoop. And what that means, what's going to happen is everything's going to stitch out all together. So all the placement lines will stitch out. Then you lay your material down. Then all the tack downs will stitch out. And then you'll just kind of work it from there. It's so much faster and so much easier to do it this way. So let's take a look. Now, there are a lot of machines that have this on their machines. So it's not just a baby lock function or a brother function. There are other machines that have this, but let me show you how to do it. It's really easy and it'll make your life so much easier if you're doing a bunch of blocks together, especially a bunch of little, 4x4 blocks. Okay, so we're going back over to the screen here, and let me do this real quick. You get dizzy, you may want to close your eyes real quick for me. There we go. Okay, let me close out of this. All right. Okay, here's our screen. Now, my words are not up with my actions. Oh no. Ginger, I would say back out and then back, and then come back in. Can't wait until I get the upgrade. The George ruler allows you to put your fabric underneath and then trim the batting away. Ooh, that sounds fun. Sounds really fun. Okay. Here we go. So I'm just going to go home and I'm going to go to embroidery. Now, this is where you need to kind of figure out what size blocks you're going to do. So let's say I'm going to do the 4x4 blocks. I have them already saved into my machine. I'm going to go to embroidery or wherever you find yours. And mine are going to be in my pocket, but I sent it over wirelessly. So I want to come to my wireless guy here, and it's down here at the bottom. So it's this little one, the one that I use for Kimberbell. So I'm just going to grab that one and I'm going to select set. Let me do something. Because I don't know why. There we go. I want to set this. There we go. I want to get that box. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to, ooh, that's bad. Y'all can't even see what's going on. Okay. All right, here we go. So here is the design. It's a 4x4. Now with the Solaris, I can put 6 in a hoop on the largest hoop. For the, I don't know if you'll be able to get exactly 6 in the 9.5 by 14, but just try it. Just see how many you can get in the hoop. But what you want to be careful of is having them too close together because of the fabric overlay. But I'm going to start with one block. And here's what we're going to do is we are going to change every color to be a different color. Nothing can be the same. So in order to do that, you can usually go into your edit area. Why aren't you working today? I guess it's finger. Well, here, we'll just use the mouse. Edit. And I'm going to go to my little color chip right here. See him? We're going to click on that. And everything, if you look at the designs when they're built, they use a lot of the same colors. We want every step, every single step to be a different color. This is going to make this work. Very important. So the first step, which is this guy right here, I'm going to leave because I don't need it to be a different color. But the second one I'm going to click on, and I see my little color chips down here. I'm just going to select a color. I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to select a different color. I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to do this for everything. I'm going to select another color. And I'm just going to keep going in this fashion. Like this one. And maybe I want to get into the purples. I can put whatever color I want because guess what? We can put whatever color thread we want on the machine, right? I never go by the actual colors in the design. All right, my next one's going to be this one, and maybe I'll choose this pink. And next one, maybe I'll do a dark blue. Next one, maybe I'll do this blue. Next one, maybe I'll do green. This one, I'll do a different green. I'm getting close. I have 3 more to go. Got this one. I'll do yellow. This one. I can leave black and I can leave gray if I want for the last 2 because I know they're not up in anywhere else. So I think I'll leave those. And I'm going to say okay. Now what's happened is every stitch is a different color. Okay. Where do I get the pattern? For Susan, for the block I just did or for this one? Because this one is ME Time. It's by Kimberbell. The other one was in the Visionary Stitches book if you had an upgrade with Solaris Vision or if you bought a new Solaris Vision. But again, they're out there. You can find a ton of these out there. Okay. So what this one has is it's not only just the block itself, it has some, where did I put it? It has some quilting along with it. So that's why you see the little flourishes. Okay, so what I want to go and do after I've done this is I'm going to take this guy with my finger. It's already grouped because it came in together. And I'm going to move it all the way up until it won't let me move it anymore. Then what I'm going to do, if you have this ability, now you need this ability on your machine to do this, but you need a copy function. So on the Solaris or the Baby Lock machines, you're going to see a dark square and a dashed line square. So if I tap that, I'm going to have a second one and I'm going to bring it up until it won't let me move over anymore. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm trying to keep as much space in between them as possible. I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to bring this down about right here. I can move it later. I'm going to copy again. But you want to do the changing of the colors first. If not, it's going to be a nightmare. I promise. So I'm going to bring this one down and this one over. Now I need to bring this guy up a little bit, because I want about equal in between. That's going to help me when I'm embroidering. If you are overlapping some fabric, you're just going to tape the fabric out of the way. Okay, I've got them all on here now. Remember, we started with this one. We changed every single color to be one color. I'm now going to go to embroidery. And depending on what machine brand you have, if you have a color sort option, this is where you're going to find it. But in the Baby Locks, it's going to be in layout, and it's going to be these 3 spools. So I want to tap that, and I want to close my layout, and look what happens. So can you see that all of the placement stitches are all together? That's that one color. The next one will be the next color, C. So it's going to start here, 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 here. Then it'll do the next here, 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 here. The next color, the next color, the next color, the next color. So it's not going to just stitch out one at a time. It'll stitch them all out. Such a cool feature, especially when you're doing something like this. Now, can you do this on other embroidery designs? You can. You can do this on other embroidery designs. Some of them may not let you. Okay? Some of them just, I don't know why. I have no clue why. They just don't. So, but on a lot of things, or on a lot of embroidery designs, you can color sort. Now, the only time you don't want to try to color sort is when everything has the same color. So let's think about this. Let's think about a butterfly. So what if the butterfly's head is the same color as part of the wing, and it has a different time that there's a different time that the wing stitches out from the head? Well, we want to change the color of the head if we're going to color sort, because it just works that way, or the wing, whichever one. So now I can go to embroidery and I can stitch all these out together. Pretty cool, huh? Now, can you do this exact same thing in embroidery software? Heck yeah, you can. You do the exact same thing that I did. You bring one in and you change the color of each stitch out, each stitch, and then you multiply how big that your hoop can take, save it to a USB stick, and bring it in. Go to layout. You won't even have to use the color sort. You can color sort it in your embroidery software. That's just learning, a good technique. But there's many videos out there to show you how to do that, especially if you're using palette 11, because palette 11 is the bomb. The same, my opinion. All right. So see how much fun you can have with this. You really can. I'm so sad that I have to stop sewing tonight because I got to go study. But I really want to finish my blogs. But hopefully I'll get some time this week. If not, I've been using Saturdays to really sew a lot, and that's been really fun. That's my de-stress time. I'm not working 40 plus hours a week, studying at night, and then Saturdays I kind of take an Anna day. Me and Lacey sleep in late and then we sew. So I hope you guys can find some really pretty ones out there. What I want you to do. I want you to go out there, find something and work on it and post pictures. I love to see what you do. I don't see that enough on this page. I'm a fuss at y'all. I don't see that enough on this page. So I'd love for you to share what you're making. Also, there's some really great things coming up. Let me see here if I can find. Let's go back. I tried to save it to my page. I don't know if it uploaded. There it is right here. I don't know if you can see it. Xandra Shaw posted a post on my page right here, and it says Hoop Fun Club is celebrating its second anniversary. Together with Baby Lock USA, we are giving away 2 amazing embroidery machines, the Aurora and the Bloom. And those are great, guys. I love those machines. So what you're going to do is you're going to enter here. So you're going to click right here, and you're going to enter right here. So make sure you do that. And the winners will be announced during the Hoop Fun Club, not here, not on this page, celebration on December 17th at 11 a.m. And you're going to sign up for that webinar right there. So make sure you do that. If y'all know that Xandra has been a huge part in Baby Lot's life, and a lot of the educators as well. She's been super generous to us to allow us to give away things and do, use her designs to show you guys how awesome they are. So make sure to check her out. Her business is awesome. She's got fabric, she's got embroidery designs, she's got tools. One of my favorite is the mermaid tool. Love my mermaid tool. So just check her out. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming this week. I will see you all next week. Hopefully I'll have this little guy done into a nice throw quilt, because I think I can really make a throw quilt out of this whole thing. And quilted by then. Probably not, but I'll try my hardest. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you again for your support and putting up with me being absent a lot, but things happen. So remember to always shop local, shop small. That's super important to me. And so make sure if you can't find what you're looking for on the big box stores, please first go to your local quilt shop. That's what's keeping us going right now, and we really appreciate your help. All right, everyone, have a great week, and I will see you next time.